Hello everyone, we're back with Chennai. Today we're going to talk about myths, misconceptions and gossip around the gym and fitness and nutrition. There's been a lot of information floating around, and I realized that some of this stuff when we talk, I realize some of it is not true, and I would like Chennai to throw some light on it. What I'm going to do first is list out those myths. So the first one is, does fat convert to muscle and muscle converts to fat? And what is this whole thing about weight loss? The next thing is BMI. Is BMI a good measure of fitness? And we're going to throw in some examples there. Then we're going to talk about women doing weight training and bulking up. A lot of women don't like to do that. Yep. I don't know why.
I can understand why. Okay.
Then spot reduction for fat loss. I've not heard of that one before, but that's something you introduced to me, so we'll elaborate on that. And the other one, I love this. Running destroys knees. I'm really excited to talk about this. And skipping meals and starvation. I have believed most of my life that I should starve myself to lose weight.
Okay.
So that will be a good one to speak about. Sitting is the new smoking.
Yes.
That really hit me hard. So these are the topics we're going to talk about. So let's start off with does fat convert to muscle, or is it the other way around? And let's get into details of what is weight loss about.
Okay, so let me just come up with this. This is gym gossip, and it's so prevalent in the gyms. I've been in the industry for, now this is my 24th year in the industry, personal training, and I've come across a lot of some wild misconceptions about gym training, nutrition and fitness. Some widely held beliefs which are false, because that is what the media perpetuates out there. And also it's pop culture, especially now with TikTok, Instagram. People are just putting up stuff, and people, experts, influencers, they are just peddling out stuff and making people believe in certain things which are not true. And some of them are, but today we're just going to look at those wild, heavy beliefs which are false, and also marketing. I mean, obviously, there is a big capitalistic industry out there trying to push their products to the people, especially in diet and nutrition. They do that a lot. So we are going to talk about that. There's this guy by the name of George Bernard Shaw. He's one of the Irish playwrights from the 18th century. He said that false knowledge is more dangerous than ignorance. That's
Heard of that one?
You've heard about that one. Yes. And also, growing up, people be like, okay, little knowledge is more dangerous than ignorance, or ignorance is bliss, which I agree to, because if you don't know it, at least you're not going to try it, because you don't know it. Yeah. So some of these beliefs that we're going to talk. So let me start with the fat to muscle. Now, based on my own experience, so I have a client who comes to the gym.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, someone who comes into the gym, they want to lose weight. So they come in, they are overweight. So they start touching themselves for no reason at all. Just all of a sudden, they're just touching their forearms, and they just touch their tummy. Like, Chennai, I just want to turn this fat into muscle. I'm like, okay. The simple answer now to this is no. That's the simple answer, is no. Or you have another client who comes in, and now he sees you have been training for some time, so you're a bit more, your body fat composition is very low. So they look at you, you have a bit more muscular. So they just start, without even prompting them, they just start touching your muscles. Chennai, I don't want to be like this. I just want to change, the muscle that I have into fat. And I'm like, okay, why is that like that? Because I look too big. I look too big. I just want to reduce it. So if I can change the muscle into fat, then I can have, I know muscle is way heavier than fat, which is also another thing that we need to talk about. you
Yeah.
know. And so now, why muscle is the way why people believe that, I can understand why people say that, because people who want to lose weight, when they train moderate, vigorous, moderate intensity, it depends. If someone is doing moderate training, where you can actually have a conversation with them when they're training, like they're jogging, they're just walking, or they're just doing something not just moderate, where you can have a conversation with them. Most of the time, they're just going to burn most of the calories from fat. Now, if someone comes into the gym, they start training very hard, they are sprinting, they're doing heat, they're doing some of the things that we see on TikTok, which is very crazy. We have someone running on a treadmill and they're sprinting. Someone throws a ball at them, they catch, and they're still sprinting like they're playing American football.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Now, in that process, you're bound to overdo things. So instead of just burning fat, you're going to burn muscle. Then you start to lose the muscle that you have. So now people will start to think maybe my muscle have changed into fat and I'm starting to burn that muscle, which is also not true, because now if you look at these two things, muscle and fat, they have a different chemical makeup at a cell level. So I'm going to take it down to the cell level. So you have muscles, which are made of myofibrils, which are the small fibers that we see in muscles. And now the myofibrils themselves, they are made up of a chain of amino acids,
Okay.
which is the building block of muscles. Now, where do you get the amino acids? It's from protein. That is why people are encouraged to have protein to build muscles as such. So if you look at the nitrogen is the main group which is unique to protein. Nitrogen is the main thing that is unique to protein. So you have nitrogen. Now we go to fat. Now fat at a chemical level, now which is not now body fat, which we are talking about anyway, which is also known as adipose tissue. Now when you break down fat, when you're training which is an oxidative process, when you break down fat, you're going to have glycerol as a byproduct, and also fatty acids, which is triglycerides. So now the word tri means three. So you have 3 chains of fatty acids. Now the chemical structure of these, which is exclusive to fat, is carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen.
Okay.
So you can't have carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen changing into nitrogen, which is the main component of protein. Neither can you change nitrogen into these elements. These are totally different atoms altogether. So you can't change this into that. It's like trying to change a banana into an apple.
Okay.
It doesn't work. So at a chemical level, it's not true. It's not true at all.
Okay.
Yes.
I have 2 examples to give here. Since we're talking about fat and muscle.
Yes.
One is my husband started doing a lot of cardio a couple of months ago, and more than weights, he was doing his cardio, and he realized he was shrinking, like he lost all his bulk.
Yes.
So that's when he realized he needs to go back to weight training. You can't just do with one part of it. You can't just do cardio. You can't just do weight training. Both are equally important, right?
So most of the times when you have people coming to the gym, most of the times, people who are so intense, especially with cardio, high intensity interval training, CrossFit training, Tabata protocol, circuits where they are really, it's so brutal, it's so painful. When you look at them, we'll be like, oh my God, they are scaring people away from the gym, because the way they're doing it is so intense. Now, this is where I was talking about, where they are going to, instead of just burning fat, they reach the level where they produce cortisol. Like we were talking about cortisol the other day, which is a stress hormone.
Yes.
So cortisol stress.
Yeah.
So you've reached the level where your body actually is so stressed, then instead of just tapping into fat, it starts to tap into muscle. Then you start losing muscle. So that's why you look at people who do that, they look a bit skinny, skeletal, because they have lost muscle mass, which is very important, not only for having a good body composition, but also just for functionality and also for locomotion. You need muscle. That is why it's better to balance the two.
Balance both, and the other example was mine. Like when I started, we checked it. We checked my weight and body fat, in these 2 years, I haven't lost weight, nor have I gained weight. I am the same after doing all these workouts, but I realize my clothes have gone loose, I have become fitter, I've shrunk, but I feel more like my body's more structured, I feel there's more muscle. So I think that conversation leads to talking about
BMI.
BMI.
Yes.
Is BMI a good measure of fitness?
Simply put, no. It's not a good metric.
I was shocked to hear that. I was shocked to hear that when you gave me your example.
So every time when people come to the gym, they're like, Chennai, it's not only me, but all the trainers, the main thing that is out there for people that they can relate to in terms of weight loss, what is my BMI? What is my BMI? Are we going to take my BMI? So they come in, the first thing they'll be like, Chennai, I want to have my BMI measured, which is only one component of the in-body analysis that we are going to do with you when we do that.
Yeah.
So when we put you on that machine, that in-body analysis machine is going to give us a lot of metrics: your weight, your water content, your fat mass, body fat percentage, and also it's going to give us your skeletal muscle mass in terms of the number of kgs that you have. So now, body mass index by definition, you are looking at your weight over height relationship. That's where it comes in. So it's just a measure where you are looking at your weight over height. For example, myself, I'm 79 kgs and I'm 1.7. So if you do the calculation, my BMI is way off the chart. It's more than 25, which is the cutoff mark for being healthy or not healthy. So I'm considered actually obese by that measurement. So that's why it is not a true measurement, because it's not looking really at the body composition. How much fat do I have? How much muscle do I have? Because I can be way heavier, but most of my body is made of muscle than fat. So that's healthy. That is what you need. That's quality gain. But for someone who comes in who is totally deconditioned, coming from outside, you put them on a machine. Yes, if the BMI is way above 25 kgs per square meter, then it's something that you can use as a tool to try to check their progress. If they're going down from 25, going down to 24, 23, then they're increasing, they're getting better, they're getting their results. Now coming to you, so when you started training, your body fat composition was a bit high.
Yes.
And your muscle quantity was a bit low.
Yes.
Now, when you started training, we didn't change that fat into muscle because, like we said before, these are totally different chemical structures, so they can't be reversible. They can't be changed into either.
Yeah.
So what you started doing is you started burning fat for sure, because your heart rate went up, your muscles, now you started to put on muscle because you started putting resistance to your muscle, then they started getting stronger and stronger. Muscles which are stronger, they tend to burn more calories in the process. Then you became like a blast furnace. You can keep burning stuff even if you are done training or when you go home. So you didn't change weight in terms of net loss.
Yeah.
It's because you put on muscle, but you reduce. So you can put on 2 kgs of muscle, lose 2 kgs of fat, your net loss is 0. So it doesn't mean you are not improving. You are improving, but you're gaining quality, which is what you want.
Yeah, and I remember you telling me it's good progress when we were checking, the metrics at certain intervals. You said that's good. I mean, I'm well within the range in terms of weight.
Yeah, and also your BMI is also looking at that. Your BMI is good.
Yeah,
it's good. You're healthy.
Though it's not a
though it's not a true measure, because if I take, for example, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Ronnie Coleman, for people familiar with the bodybuilders, all these guys are obese.
Yeah.
Because their weight is just sky high. Yeah. But their heights, they are still the same. Then they're considered obese. So it's not a true measurement. A true measurement of body fat, which is actually universal, classic. If you are started training and you have your clothes. Now, if your clothes start to get looser on the waistline, if your clothes start to get looser on your arms, even your buckle, if you're now getting one buckle less, then you're losing fat.
Sorry, we took a quick break because Shanna was feeling hot.
And also I lost my microphone anyway, so now I got it back.
Yeah, so continuing a conversation about BMI.
That's why I'm drinking water too much. It's hot here. It's hot in Dubai these days. Crazy.
So we were talking about BMI not being a great measure, which I agree with now, and that that continues into the topic of women not wanting to bulk up. Yeah. So I did lose weight, but I realized that there are parts where my clothes were getting really tight. And when I started with you, I remember saying, I don't want to look like a guy. I don't want to bulk up. This is not what I. So I was scared to lift weights. What is this thing about women having that hesitation, or people, you know, or the society looking at it as women should not pick weights or not, you know, bulk up? I don't think I'm I don't think I'm very heavy. I feel lean. I feel good.
That's the word, lean. Masculine, not muscular.
Yeah.
That's a feminine way look, which is that's the look we like.
Yeah.
So the simple answer is no.
Yeah.
Weightlifting for ladies does not make them increase muscle mass and make them look humongous, incredible, like Incredible Hulk.
Yeah.
No, that's not the look we are trying to get. I get also that from ladies at times when they come in, I have a wedding that I'm preparing for in 3-4 months, so I don't want to put on muscle, I don't want to look like you. I'm like, my dear, you won't look like me because I don't want you to look like this for your wedding. This won't be a good look, so I'm not going to try to do that. But what I'm going to try to do, like you, is to have this masculine look, you know, this fit look, this confident look, this posture where you'll be so confident on your wedding. And that only comes from, you know, your muscles getting firmer. As of now, they are soft.
Yeah.
So we need to that. So that is what you've got. Now, when you start flexing, like what you're doing, you're flexing your tricep, they look tight and all that shit. Oh my God, my bad, that's the way I talk. So, so I can understand why people think that. So that's an old way of thinking, which is very archaic. Very old medieval way of thinking.
Yeah.
So let's leave that. That's in the past. Ladies are free to come to the gym and train. The only reason, and also, I mean, anyway, building muscle does not happen by accident.
Yeah.
There's something behind it. There's chemistry behind it. There's biology and physiology behind it. Yeah. There's a muscle building hormone. Yeah. I think you know the one. What's the name of the muscle? Testosterone.
Hormone. Testosterone.
Testosterone.
Oh, okay.
That's the key. So that's the difference between the two of us. Now.
Yeah, you mentioned it. Yes.
Yes. And you see now, the thing is, women do not have too much testosterone in their body.
Yeah. Okay.
So women can lift as much as they can. They can even lift as much as me, or even more than me. They can lift heavy. They can do weight training, but they are not going to bulk up because they don't have the necessary ingredient for building muscle. They will only get firmer, they will only get masculine, and they will only get to be very energetic and to very active because they have now gotten their muscles to work. Now men, just doing a little bit here and there with weights, they will bulk up. They will put on muscle mass because they have too much testosterone in the body. That's the way we are created. So this means that if you lift weights, you're going to bulk up, you're going to put muscle mass. That's not possible. That's not possible.
It's interesting.
Yes.
So now that we were talking about bulking up, the other side of it is fat loss. Spot reduction for fat loss.
Yes.
You said people come in the gym, they tell you, I want to lose fat here on the stomach. You know, I didn't know about this, so it would be good to elaborate and understand what is this spot reduction.
So we have, why I'm laughing is because at times some of these things, they are so incredible that people actually, they've been made to believe that. So you have guys who come over, they've been training maybe 4, 5, 6 months. You see them training, you see them what they are doing, then they come to you and say, Chennai, how come I'm not losing? I want to lose my belly, and they are pinching their belly, and really they can pinch fat on it, and I'm not losing. And then you ask them, what are you doing? They'll be like, okay, I just come in, I just do tummy, I do some abdominal crunches, I'm doing leg raises, but my tummy is not going. And then I also have ladies who come in and they say, Chennai, I just want to lose weight on the hips.
Yeah.
Okay, so what have you been doing? So they do a lot of stuff which is connected to that specific area, but it does not give them the results that they want, because in general, you do not target specific muscles or specific areas on the body to reduce body fat or body fat in that area. When you train, it's generalized, which means you're going to reduce body fat throughout the body. So the idea of you just coming in and starting doing tummy crunches, doing glute bridges, without training the whole body,
Yeah.
you're only going to limit yourself because in terms of calorie expenditure, it's going to be very limited. So imagine you come in, you do your legs, you do your chest, you do your back, you do your shoulders. You're going to tap fat from all over the body instead of targeting specific areas. So the body does not work like that. So if you do your tummy, if you do your glutes, the body is going to tap fat even from your legs, from your shoulders, from your back. Yeah. So actually you can assist your body by training the whole body so that you can, tap fat from all over the body in a general way instead of specifically targeting places. So people who are doing just tummy crunches or just doing glutes, you need to just have a general understanding that you have to tap from all over. That's the way the body works. It doesn't specifically reduce in that area. If we were meant to be looking like that, I would just come in and start working on specific sport, but it has to be general all over the body. Yeah. So for example, imagine body fat utilization is when you put your heart rate above resting heart rate, which means your muscles, they need to be exercising for your muscle to be under stress, for your heart to be under stress so that you can send glucose, oxygen to the exercising areas. So if you limit only to a specific spot, you're going to tap fat from all over the body, but it's going to be limited. Yeah. But just do the whole body. Imagine this much of muscle, how much demand is going to be created on your heart, your back, your legs. So if you do that, you're going to tap from all over. So your tummy eventually is going to reduce body fat because you're tapping from all over the body. So it's a generalized way of doing, not a specific spot as such.
Interesting.
Yes.
It's good to know. Another thing I can't stop thinking about from our last conversation is about knees,
skipping meals,
joints,
starvation.
There's so much. So let's first talk about
running destroys knees.
Running destroys knees. What is that about? That you shouldn't run too much. Actually, run after a certain age, you shouldn't be doing it.
Running, actually, studies have shown that people who have better knee integrity are runners. People who run, they have a better knee integrity because they're going to force that joint, muscles around that joint to go through a fuller range of motion, and also because of your body weight, you're going to stress your muscles so they become stronger. Then they take away the toll and the burden on the knee itself. Then you're not going to have that problem. The only dangerous thing that comes from just running is when you keep repeating the same thing over and over and over and over again. Every day you come in, we do 1 hour running, 1 hour running, 1 hour running, 1 hour running. Now, through that repetition, there's what they call RIS, repetitive injury syndrome. You're going to start having inflammation around the knee, and especially for runners, they have what they call the runner's knee, when you start having pain from outside the knee or inside the knee. That is because you keep repeating the same thing. If you keep doing the same thing, something is bound to give. So what I suggest people do is, yes, running is not the problem. You just need to, have variety in you. So you can run today, do something else different, run the day after so that you allow your muscles to recover. Then you can keep doing that. So running is not the issue. It's just that people overdo it by exerting too much pressure on the knee. As I said, actually, I've been running since, for donkey years. Even today I was running. Yeah. No issues.
Wow. Yes. Okay. So that's another myth that we bust. And then, skipping meals, starvation.
Yeah,
I've done this to myself. I've done so much of this to myself.
Why do you have to starve yourself?
I would skip meals because, when I wasn't working out, I would skip meals just to keep my weight in check and not gain weight. Yeah. I still do it sometimes. At night, I'll try to skip a meal. I'll starve myself. But I realize that's not something.
That's starvation.
Helps. Yeah.
You're starving yourself. And our bodies are not meant to starve for starters. And the moment you go into starvation mode, your body is going to switch off. Yeah. Just like in the old days, not just old days. Let's look at animals in winter. Yeah. The hog. It goes into hibernation so that it can reduce everything, metabolism, digestion, everything to its slowest possible rate. Yeah. Because it wants to save what it has. It's contingency. Yeah. So the moment you also you starve yourself, the body is like, okay, this person is not going to feed me for a long period of time. Mm-hmm. So let me just slow everything down. Don't you feel lethargic when you starve yourself? Don't you feel getting dizzy when you starve yourself? Don't you feel get weak when you starve yourself?
Yeah.
It's because the body is switching off. You can't do anything about it, but that's how the body works. It's a negative feedback. So your body is starting to switch off certain things.
Okay.
So that it can preserve itself. You can't fight against it. It's going to slow you down.
Yeah.
It's going to make you sit down. It's going to make you sleep. So, for you to burn food, you need food to burn food. You need energy to give energy. Whatever you give your body, it will give you back. So if you give it less, it will give you less energy. If you give it, now I'm not saying people should go out and hog on food, just in moderation, so that you keep your metabolism at an even keel. It's the same throughout the day. So have very small meals which are well balanced in small proportions. Clean meals throughout the day so that you don't have valleys and troughs in your metabolism. Then you won't have issues. So it's like when you have a car, we give it petrol, it's going to take you to Abu Dhabi. But if you give it a less, you're going to stop somewhere. You won't get your destination. That's why skipping meals is not it's a big no-no. So simply put, no. But people should have a well-balanced, small proportion, small portions, and also at the right times. Like we were talking about, meals should be every 3 hours.
Oh, is it?
Don't just whenever you go, you snack on something, you snack on something. Give yourself 3 hours in between meals.
Minimum.
So minimum. And then you're not going to starve, you're not going to get into that mode where your body becomes less. But you keep an even keel.
It's fascinating the more I understand the body's intelligence. It's really, really fascinating how the body manages to create that balance based on our habits. The other one is, I think we're just at the end of this, and sitting is the new smoking.
Yes.
That's a tough one to digest.
Simply put, no. I think I said this to you the other time. The chair is not the enemy. This is not the enemy. The studies have shown that people who sit at work, there's no direct relationship in terms of them getting lazy or not getting physically depreciated, but it's what you do before and after, in the morning and in the evening. If you're going to keep sitting in the morning, you get to work, you sit, then you sit again in the evening, then you're going obviously to be the same effects that you get people were getting from smoking, where you get diseases that are associated with being physically inactive. So sitting is not the issue. So sitting is not the villain. We have some tribes in the Amazon jungle where they don't even have chairs, but these guys are as fit as anyone that you can think of. They sit 9 to 10 hours. But the thing is, what do you do outside of that? Because these guys are hunting and gathering throughout the day. Then they get to sit. But still they're active, they're fit. But the problem is that we get from sitting in the morning, sitting at work, sitting in the evening. Then we don't have anything else to do to get ourselves exercising. That's why I can understand why people can associate sitting and being unhealthy. There's nothing relatable to that. It's just what did you do? Because work sit time is productive. There's nothing associated with negative health outcomes from that. But when you sit in the morning and you sit again in the evening without doing anything to exercise, then it becomes a problem.
Interesting. That was, I couldn't relate to that, but now I understand what you say. And let's close with abs are made in the kitchen.
Now, that I agree. That's not a myth. That's very true.
Okay, that's not a myth. That's
because true. It's like what they said, you are what you eat. So if you eat like a pig and train like a mosquito, you're not going to lose weight. Now, like what I said again, if you train like a horse and eat like a mosquito, also you're going to have issues with that because you're going to lose all the muscle mass. But the thing is, eat in moderation. So if you're in the kitchen, make sure you eat the right amount of food, and that will keep your tummy in place.
Thank you, Chennai. It was an interesting talk.
It's a pleasure talking to you.
We'll meet again next week.
Absolutely.